Hi everyone guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm here to talk about what happened in southern Italy, most particularly in Sicily, in Sardinia, and partially in the area of Calabria region. First of all, I want to encourage you, all of you watching out there, that have some interest about knowing what happened in Italy and the tragedy that actually occurred in this particular area of southern Italy between Sicily, Calabria, and Sardinia. I encourage you, first of all, to stay until the end of this video. I know it's gonna be probably a little bit of kind of a long video, but you know what happened is really strange and it's something pretty unusual, and it takes time to explain it correctly to give you guys out there who may be watching me from UK, from US, from Ireland. I've been in England and in Scotland for a while. In my 20s, I'm 32 now, so maybe I know I can have some friends out there watching me from there, and mostly almost no one heard about what happened here in southern Italy, so it takes time to explain everything, so please bear in mind that it's going to be a long video. If you can stick up until the end of the video, and if you want to support my channel, what you can do, actually I'm not going to make this video monetized, first of all because I'm gonna include some videos and photos that are protected by copyright. Secondly, because I want you guys to have the opportunity to hear and to watch a video that can be fluent and as smooth as possible, even though I know that my English accent doesn't help at all, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, so if you want to support my channel, the only thing you can do is subscribe if you want. I made a couple of videos in English languages. There are a few of them that I made in English language. I will link those into the description box below. Furthermore, if you would like to support me, you can always give me a donation through YouTube. You can buy a thanks, you can just buy a thanks. You can, give me some donation, whatever, through YouTube. I also have a link anyway, if you want, in my description box below at Buy Me a Coffee website. It's another pretty cool website, and I like the name because it reminds me of coffee. So yeah, why not? You can always support me by using the Buy Me a Coffee website. And yeah, first of all, I want to present myself to you if you don't know who I am. My name is Emanuele Cifalino, and yes, I am living at the moment in northern Italy, even though my family is mostly from southern Italy. And you don't have to believe me. I mean, I don't have to show you my ID, but everybody who knows me, they know I'm originally from Sicily, so I know very well what happened there. I have cousins, I have relatives down there in Sicily who they've been affected from all of this, and I am in contact with them, so I know what I am talking about. I'm just telling you, I'm being honest. You can go check out my Instagram as well. It's all down to the description box below. So let's go straight to the point. So first of all, what happened? Well, what happened was basically one of the strongest sea storm that has ever been recorded in history. And well, this sea storm is one of those phenomenon that are usually called medicane. So it comes from the word Mediterranean plus hurricane. You can Google about it. It's pretty easy to find information about this kind of stuff. So basically, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, sometimes in the Mediterraneans, we have those kind of tropical-like cyclones, sorry for my pronunciation, tropical-like hurricanes, and those hurricanes, they share some things in common with the hurricanes that can happen in the Atlantic, in the Pacific Ocean, in the Indian Ocean, and yeah, they have some similarity, but what's different from all of these hurricanes usually is that the winds in Mediterranean hurricanes are less severe, as well as the intensity of the precipitation is less severe. Well, not in this case, not in this case, because as I'm about to show you right now, I will show you some videos, some photos, some pictures. I will let them show somewhere here in this video so you can see it by yourself. Well, as you can see, this time that was not the case, because Sicily, in particular the area of Catania, of Caltanissetta and Messina, which sadly enough happen to be the areas where my relatives are living, unfortunately. But I'm not here to sound victimistic or anything. I'm just saying what I say. They are from there, so yeah. These three areas of Sicily were the most affected. Secondly, the area of South Sardinia, the area of Cagliari, and thirdly, the area of Calabria, exposed to the Mar Ionio, the Ionio Sea, Mar Ionio. So these were the areas affected the most. And what was strange about this event is that we had this, as I said, Mediterranean hurricane that really exceeded far exceeded a lot what Italy has experienced before in all the weather history that we have available. Just to give you a reference, I was looking actually at the scientific report from the Journal of Malta. Malta is a small island between Sicily and Africa, which, by the way, this island has been severely affected as well. I was looking at this scientific report, and they say that in the area between Malta and Sicily, waves up to 16 meters high have been recorded, as well as winds that have exceeded 110 kilometers per hour. So we're talking about 111 kilometers per hour strength and waves up to 16 meters high. That's something very unusual for the Mediterranean. Probably you guys who have been in Italy know very well this peculiar characteristic that our sea is a closed sea, and it's a small one. It's nothing like an ocean. It's relatively small. So that's very rare, and that's unprecedented in the history of our sea. Secondly, what was very strange is the period when it occurred, because yeah, we had Mediterranean hurricanes before, but generally when they occur mostly during the autumn. Well, that's because, you know, during the autumn the sea is still very warm from the very hot summer that are common in the Mediterranean region. So in autumn, when, you know, cold air from northern Europe starts to usually arrive at southern latitudes, in autumn, that's when usually you see most of the Mediterranean hurricanes forming. But this phenomenon occurred between the 19th and the 21st of January, so a couple of days ago. And this is a strange uh, time period, because in this period, the sea generally is slightly colder compared to the autumn, and it starts to get colder and colder as further we get into February, March. People who lives in these regions, in Sicily, in Sardinia, and in Calabria knows about this. You know, they know very well when it's the warmest and the coldest period, and they can confirm what I'm saying. You know, so yeah, I will show you again the images of what happened while I'm talking, you know. So yeah, one interesting image that you can see from the satellite image, you can see really this hurricane. It was formed, you know, and you can see the location where it was. You can see also this very strong V-shaped thunderstorm. People who knows about weather watching, people who knows about climate, they know that V-shaped thunderstorm are very strong and can be very dangerous. And even if this V-shaped storm was not hitting Sicily, it was hitting part of Sardinia, as you can see. But the problem was, you know, mostly the wind and the extremely high waves that have hit, uh, as I said, these particular areas of Sicily, of Sardinia and Calabria. And yeah, basically, what I want to say is that I find it very strange that nobody is talking about this uh, phenomenon, you know, because nowadays it's something that, even if luckily enough, nobody got killed, you know, a lot of people lost their home, a lot of people lost their activities, their business, their shop, you know. Catania, Messina, Caltanissetta, in Sardinia, in this part of Calabria, it's full of, you know, very ancient buildings. You know, we got some pictures of a cemetery, you know, they where people are put into graves, the cemetery, you know. We have pictures of a cemetery being completely destroyed by the fury of the sea. This is very sad. It really makes me speechless. And I see in the comments, sometimes in the Italian videos that are covering what happened, I see comments of people saying, "Oh well, but you should not buy, you should not build houses and businesses and restaurants and all this stuff close to the sea." But guys, you have to bear in mind that, you know, all of these all of these um, urban development that occurred in these particular areas are very ancient, and if they were built there, it actually means that people who thought about building there, they never could imagine that something like this could ever occur in the future. So this also gives you a perspective of how extreme it was and how dangerous it has been, because luckily enough, nobody got hurt because, the protezione civile, which is basically the um, emergency authority that usually deals with weather related emergency. uh, you know this authority deals with extreme events, when there was the so-called pandemic in Italy. That's the protezione civile that was involved, when it's, I don't know, like when there is uh, earthquake. That's the authority that gets involved. It's authority that actually helps people with natural disasters and with all kind of natural emergency that can sometimes occur. They have done a great job this time, so you gotta give credit where credit is due. You gotta give credit. They've done a very great job. They evacuated a lot of towns, villages, a lot of cities. People who've been in those isles, Sardinia and Sicily and Calabria. They know that we have a lot of small villages, small communities along the seaside. The Protezione Civile this time done an amazing job evacuating everyone before the disaster occurred. So really, this was like handled in a perfect way this time. This time, I got to admit this, and I'm not shaming, as I said, the fact that the buildings were not supposed to be there, because they were built there many years ago, and they were built there because nobody thought that something like this, something this disastrous could ever happen. So I'm not shaming people who actually decided in the first place to build houses and restaurants and businesses and cemeteries and graveyards there. I'm not shaming them. How could they know? How could they know? Yeah. So, um, yeah. What else I want to say? Yeah. Basically, there was now that emergency is over, we can see more clearly the amount of destruction and all the damages that this hurricane has created, and the first estimate are talking about more than 700 millions worth of damages that local communities in Sicily, in Calabria, in Sardinia have suffered from. But again, the emergency has completely stopped only 3 days ago. So I suppose we could very well go near the billion, so the billion worth of damages, because I'm pretty sure that we are going to discover in these few days the situation is developing fast, and we're starting to find out what's the actual extent of the damaged locations. There have been railways that have been disrupted, um, train services between Catania and Siracusa and Messina uh, are now not operating, and they don't know when these trains are going to operate again. So please be careful if you have any kind of vacation planned in the upcoming months. You are likely going to see some major disruption still being in place. in this part of Sicily, the southern part, southeastern, you know, because that's where Catania and Caltanissetta and Messina are, and Cagliari as well, southern Sardinia, Calabria too, you know. Expect some major um, disruption in place regarding public transport, you know. And yeah, and what's the most sad thing is, in my opinion, is that, you know, our government, Italian government, like all the European government nowadays, they're spending so much money towards helping Ukraine, towards helping people in Gaza, towards helping, you know, uh, towards helping other communities, like, you know, that are suffering. But but when it comes to finding the money to help our population, our local citizens in Sicilians, Sardinians, and Calabrians, you know, suddenly the money to help them is so hard to find. So I find it very frustrating, very upsetting, very unfair that when it comes to helping foreign people uh, with whom Italy has nothing to share, because let's be honest here, we have nothing to share with Ukrainians, and we have definitely nothing to share with uh, population in Gaza, which is mostly Muslims, while we are mostly Christians. We share nothing with them, but yet Europe is so quick to be able to help Gaza, to say, oh, we recognize the state of Palestine, and all this bullshit. We send money to Ukraine, but when it comes to paying attention to our problem, suddenly it's all very, you know, difficult, very long, takes a lot of time, you know, and, you know, that's the same old story. So if I can say something that can, if I can say something helpful to people who are listening to this video, is just share this video. If you want, if you want to donate, I don't, I'm just a guy who has a family there. It's not going to, it's helping me personally, and I appreciate it, you know, because my family has been affected as well. But I'm not here asking for money for me. If you want to help to build back what have been destroyed, because there are a lot of things that sadly have been destroyed, beaches, bar, restaurant, cafes, building, ancient buildings, like the waves literally destroyed concrete walls, destroyed roads, streets. It was nuts. It was like even the most elderly people in Sardinia, who are like 80, 90 years old, they say they they never have seen something like that in their entire lifespan. And I'm talking about 80, 90 years old individuals. So that gives you also an idea of, even if it's not a scientific data, it gives you an idea of how extreme it was, you know. and and yeah, I know that a lot of you guys love Italy, and especially love the southern part of Italy. So I really want to give you as much information as possible, you know. So I will provide you with a lot of pictures as well here, so that you can see the extension of this damage. And yeah, um, another thing that I find very interesting, even though I am not, I don't have any proof of this, I find it very fascinating and very interesting that, you know, all of these and extreme and unusual weather phenomenon are occurring all all of in the same time frame. I was recently looking towards the upcoming very, very severe cold spell that's about to hit um, the central western part of the United States. I was looking at, the record, the snowfall ever recorded, the highest record snowfall ever recorded in Russia. I was looking at that, and now this extreme, this unprecedented tropical-like hurricane in Mediterranean Sea. I find it very fascinating that it's all happening at the same time. I don't know if it has anything to do with the recent geomagnetic storm that we have been experiencing, because just a couple of days before we had the hurricane in Sicily, we had a very, very big solar storm that actually caused the aurora borealis to be seen across various regions of Europe, in northern Italy as well, and in various regions of Northern America too. So I wonder if there is a sort of link between, all these events happening at the same time, and this solar storm that has been hitting the Earth basically with this huge amount of radiation and um, and plasma, because yeah, we're talking about a solar flare that sent this coronal mass ejection towards our our planet. So I don't have any proof of that, but I'm just putting it out there. It could be that there is a correlation between all of this, and yeah, I think basically I I said enough, and I said, everything that I could tell you about this event. As I said, nobody died, nobody got hurt, luckily enough, but people are in big trouble. The southern Italy is a very poor area of our country. Um, it's not rich. Our central government has other priorities, unfortunately, because they want to help foreign population. It's not I'm not being political here. I'm just stating the facts. Everybody can see that Italy is, helping Ukraine, that Italy is actually, uh, getting involved in the Israel-Gaza conflict, and is like forgetting about their own people. Everybody can see it. Just do your own research and you will find proof of what I'm saying. So I'm just saying that people are in trouble, and just probably, as I said, probably the first analysis say that the damages occurred are up to 700 millions, but they could very well reach a billion worth of damages occurred into these areas. And also, not taking into the account the possibility that further rainfall in the future could cause additional damages to these areas that are now, from a geological point of view, very, very fragile. So any further rainfall that could occur in the future could put and could create even more damages, so making possibly the situation even worse. So yeah, that's all that I wanted to say, guys. For everyone who enjoyed this video, all I can say, you can support me by liking this video, subscribing if you want, You can support my work through some donations. It's totally up to you. I'm not here asking for anything, just saying that I won't make this video monetized because it's not fair, and I couldn't even if I wanted to. So yeah, I just share a genuine interest in weather phenomenon in my country and around the world as well. I will be following closely what happens to Midwestern America with this very strong cold and snow wave. Crazy things happening every single day around the world, you know. Seems like, yeah, information is kind of being manipulated right now. So yeah, that's all I want to say, guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you like the content. If you want, you already know how you can support me. It's up to you. I'm just sharing you my little reality, what I see, what I experience from my own world, from my own two eyes, what I can tell you it's happening down here in Southern Europe. And that's all for now. Take care. Huge hug to you, all of you guys from UK, from USA, from Ireland, from New Zealand, from Australia, wherever you are in the world. I love English. I love English people, British people, American people. I love all of you. Mwah. Take care.